Hi everyone, and welcome back to DD Academy. As always, my name is Robert Gonzalez, and today we're going to be discussing several ways that we can help improve your site's search engine ranking using technical SEO. Some technical SEO improvements can be quite difficult or time-consuming, but we wanted to bring you the best tips and tricks to get you started quickly and effectively without being an expert. So without further ado, here are 10 technical SEO tips for non-tech people. Number 1 is fixing broken links. One of the easiest ways to improve your SEO ranking is to fix broken links. Maybe the page was moved, maybe the link has changed, but either ways, it makes for a poor user experience and a poor ranking from Google. Number 2, improve your content's readability. Nobody likes a huge wall of text while browsing a website. Most people are looking for a very specific piece of information, and if you want your site to be the go-to for information like that, you need to make sure that your content is easily digestible. This means structuring your content in such a way that it reduces scrolling or reading fatigue. Break up the content into paragraphs and sections, add headers and subheaders, add graphics or images where appropriate, and even vary up the layout and color. Anything to vary up your content while still making it easily digestible. Number 3, link up your pages. Another super simple way to fix up your site is to make sure your pages are linking to each other. Obviously, I'd expect most of you have your pages linked somewhere, at least once, and if you don't, make sure to link up those orphaned pages. But we really should be linking up our pages more often and more intentionally. For example, if you have a set of pages, blog posts, white papers, or more that are all centered around the same topic, you really should be linking those up to each other. This can better inform Google what your site and what those pages are about, and also can keep your users browsing for longer. Number 4, making sure your site is secure. Go to your website and take a look at the URL bar. Do you see a little lock icon to the left of the URL? If so, your site is secure and you're good to go. If not, you need to fix this immediately. Not only does Google heavily penalize an insecure site, it also leaves your site open to things like malware attacks, which can affect both your site and your users. Google may even display a warning to a user before allowing them to access your site, letting them know about your site's lack of security. Luckily, fixing this is as simple as installing what's called an SSL certificate. If you don't know how to install an SSL certificate on your particular site, make sure to contact your domain service provider such as GoDaddy, HostGator, or Bluehost, and they can help you get started. Number 5, making sure your website is mobile friendly. According to a report by Hitwise, 60% of all search queries come from a mobile device, and that percentage is only expected to increase. That, combined with Google rolling out its mobile-first indexing initiative next year, means that having a mobile-friendly site is of the utmost importance. If you don't know, mobile-first indexing means that Google will be ranking your site based on your mobile version, not your desktop version. So go ahead and check your website on your phone. Is your layout not adjusting properly? Is text too big or too small? Are graphics getting cut off by the edge of your phone? Or does it just generally look poor? If so, it's time for a refresh. Number 6, do your keyword research. This one takes a bit more effort, but it's probably one of the most important things you can do to improve your SEO. Using online tools such as SEMRush's Keyword Magic tool or Google Ads Keyword Planner tool can help you search for and see how competitive certain keywords or key phrases are. This is essentially a scale of how difficult it is to rank for a specific keyword or key phrase based on how many other users are also trying to rank for those same keywords and phrases. Once you have determined the set of keywords and phrases that you want to use, and this can vary from page to page depending on topic, make sure to implement those as strategically as possible within your content. Number 7, add good metadata to each page. Metadata on a website is the title and meta description for each page. This is the stuff you'll initially see in search results, as you can see here. This is also what Google will look at first when determining whether or not your website is relevant to a user's search query. This means that your titles and descriptions should be relevant, descriptive, and include some of those keywords we just talked about. Most CMSs include a section to add a meta description to each page, but if not, there's almost certainly a plugin that does. Number 8, adding good alt text to your images. Images and graphics can communicate a lot to your users. After all, an image is worth 1,000 words. However, while you might initially think Google can only crawl text, it can actually crawl images as well. In order to make this possible and effective, you need to add what is called alt text to all of your images. Most CMS editors have a built-in way to do this, but if not, you may have to get into the code a bit. Here's an example of where the alt text should be placed inside of an image tag. Regardless, make sure that your alt text is descriptive and actually reads like a complete sentence. Don't forget your keywords. Well, take this image for example. You might say something like, 2 young girls completing a science experiment in a K-12 school. This is not only descriptive of the image, but it also reads like a complete sentence and includes some possibly relevant keywords that relate to the actual post where we have this image. Not only will this increase your search ranking, it will also make your site more easily navigable for your users that use screen readers, and may even get your images to show up as top results for Google image searches. Number 9 is reducing page load speed. This tip is arguably the most important technical SEO improvement that you can make to your website. Research shows that if your website takes more than 3 to 5 seconds to load, most users will just leave your website. This means getting your page to load quickly is paramount, because no matter how many other improvements you make, if your site doesn't load fast enough, people won't read it. One of the best ways to reduce page load speed is to optimize your images. Images can take up a lot of space on your page, so the further you can reduce that file size, the faster your page is going to load. For example, say you wanted to add a picture to a page, and you only want it to take up about 800 pixels of space. Before uploading, you should reduce that image's file size down to being only 800 pixels wide. This will reduce the file size and therefore page load time. If you upload an image to your site that is larger and then resize it down on the page itself, it may technically look smaller, but your page is still loading the full size of the image, and this will increase page load times. You can also run your image through an image compression tool, such as TinyPNG or TinyJPG, to reduce your file size even further. Other improvements you can make include reducing unnecessary redirects, minifying and combining relevant CSS and JavaScript files so that you can reduce HTTP requests, and using a content delivery network are all great ways to reduce page load speed. Check out online tools like Google's Page Speed Insights to see how fast your website loads. And finally, tip number 10 is to write great content. This isn't really a technical SEO tip, but it is by far the best advice you could possibly follow. Following our previous tips is definitely something you should do, and it will improve SEO ranking. But if you don't write awesome, engaging content that answers people's questions, Google will not rank your site. There is no sneaky way to get Google to rank your page higher. 90% of getting highly ranked on Google is writing interesting content that people want to read. And if you do that, you're well on your way to that coveted #1 spot. And that'll do it for today's video. If you liked what you saw, consider subscribing and check out our other videos so you can continue learning. If you have any tips or tricks that we missed, feel free to leave them in the comments down below and check the description for additional resources. We hope to see you next time.